Good afternoon, everybody! It's election day 2024, everybody. I'm jacked up right now. I'm jacked up with cautious optimism. We're going to be going over all the things you need to know today for election day. I'm jacked. I'm jacked up right now, baby. The hat stays on. We are rocking. We are rolling. We are ready to go. Today is the day. Today is the day that we take back this country again for the second time. Today is the day where we tell those elitists, those pretty people on television, that we don't need them to tell us how to run our lives. Today is the day that we reelect the once and future president of the United States, Donald John Trump. Guys, I am fired up today. I hope you all are too. We're going to pop the live chat up in just a second. Hit the thumbs up. Jess, I got that. I got that story. Don't worry. We're going to be talking about that a little bit later on. There is some voting problems, which we knew was going to happen. We'll talk about all of that stuff as we keep on rolling here. Where we got here, guys, hit the thumbs up button. Share this video out all over the place. Let's see, is Rumble not working right now? Is Rumble not working right now? All right, it appears to be working. All right, here you go. Hit the thumbs up button, guys. We're going to go through the live chat as we always do, as we rock, as we roll here. Boom, let's go. Several counties in swing states already saying they are expecting delays. Yes, there is going to be some delays. There were some Pennsylvania counties where the machines went down. We knew this was going to happen. I promise you the RNC has put people in place in order to do this. Also, many counties are beginning to extend their voting so that people will have an opportunity to do so. Amanda, how are you? New Yorker here. Voting like my life depends on it, she says. Why? Because it does. Illegals crossing into my backyard have me praying for the right outcome. Absolutely. Uncle Richie, what's going on? Jess, how are you? Brenda, what's happening? Kenny, giddy up. Dave, how are you? Andrew, hey, what's going on, man? Today beeth the day. Guys, hit the thumbs up button. Make sure, wherever you're watching right now, make sure wherever you're watching, you keep it locked in. LFA TV, rumble.com/LFA TV for all the election coverage tonight. All of your favorite hosts will be jumping in periodically throughout the day, throughout the night. We've got some big names coming here. We've got some big... Wow. That's funny to see in the chat. Talk shit about me one day, jump in my live chat the next day. That's funny. So, we're going to, what up, Conservative Autumn? What's happening? Bob R., what's going on? Ain't nobody going to bed tonight. It's going to be a long-ass night. We were talking to the bar that we were going to be at in New York City, just so anybody in the area knows. Downtown Social in Manhattan on 2nd Avenue. Come on down. New York City Young Republican Club. Say, loud majority at the door to get $60 off your ticket. To come on in and hang out with the biggest, baddest, largest Young Republican crew anywhere in the country. Anywhere in the country. Joanna Marie, how are you? Brenda, how are you? How are you? So, before we get into all of the stories, I want to do a little personal stuff. 4 years ago, I went to a Trump caravan, and I had no idea what was going to come of it. I thought it was just Trump supporters getting together, driving around. Love you too, Jack. It was just Trump supporters getting together, driving around the streets of Long Island. I met a guy there named Sean Farish. Some of you may know him. 4 years later, we're here. 4 years later, I met a lot of you. So many people have contributed to what this has become. I could go through all the names, and I'm going to leave people out. Dana Diffendale and Nicole Gargiulo and John Cafiero, Dina and Rich and so many people who have helped. Yeah, we picked up Brennan along the way, Russell Schneider, so many people. And as I said last night, we faced a lot of arrows. We faced a lot of arrows coming at us from the front and a lot of arrows coming at us from the back. But yet we remained firm in our mission. Here's actually for the people out there watching. Let's see if I can make this a little bit smaller. Here's me and Sean on Fox News. I think this is our third or fourth rally. I'm sure Sean will talk about it today. With Will Kane. Shout out Will Kane. That was us on Fox talking about one of our events. I didn't know where this was going to lead. I didn't know it would lead to LFA TV and voter registration drives all over the country, getting to go to Mar-a-Lago, getting to become great friends with activists all over the country, like Tiffany Savage and Scott Pressler and amazing undercover investigative journalists like Angela Vanderplume and Nick Sorter and Diligent Dennison. So many unbelievable people I've gotten to meet. And so many, Deb DeMeo. The best was when we went in front of Andrew Cuomo's house and brought him a cake for his birthday while he tried to shut us all down. So many unbelievable people. Some good, some not so good. I said this yesterday to a lot of you, and I want to make sure you're all hearing it now. This is Kel. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I appreciate that so much. I want to make sure you guys are aware of this. Whatever happens tonight, and at the end of the show today, I'm going to show you my electoral map predictions. There's going to be some surprises in there. I'm going to be honest with you. Weaver Todd. We're coming up. We're coming up very soon. Don't worry about that. Shoot me a message. This is not the end of the story. This is but another chapter in the story. We've got more to do. However, watching the last 4 years culminate in this moment, last 4 years of not a lot of sleep, not a lot of time with our families, doing some good things, some bad things. Having the press just make shit up about you. Being put on anti-government extremist lists. Gaining a lot of friends. Losing a lot of friends. It's been one hell of a ride. And for our local audience, I'm going to put out a message a little bit later on to all of you. And just as my way, this is my way of saying thank you. Thank you for everything. Because without all of you watching, without all of you coming to the rallies and sharing the content and you guys helped make our dreams come true. Before all this, before LFA, and before the show, before Sean doing the Trump impression and everything, there was just you guys. There was just you guys in a parking lot, waving flags. And I know Sean will do this too later on today. But speaking for myself here, I want to thank all of you. I want to thank all of you for making my dreams come true, regardless of what happens tonight. Regardless of what happens tonight. With that being said, let's kick some ass. Let's kick some ass. Guys, hit that thumbs up button. Share this video out all over the place. Tag a friend. If you're watching on Facebook, do me a favor. Hit that @ symbol. It'll come up followers or highlights or whatever the hell comes up. Click that so that everyone else can see the message as well. I want to thank everybody so much, so much for tuning in, because we got a big show we are planning today, and we are starting to see numbers all over the place that are out of control. Out of control. We're seeing places on Long Island, places in Patchogue, places in Amityville that are running out of ballots. The numbers are so unbelievably high. I've never seen anything like this in my entire life. Here were a collection of Orthodox Jews voting in Lakewood, New Jersey. Check this out.
We're the last in line. All right, so we know the last person to check in.
Does it mean we're going to get in or no?
No, you're done.
I'm not getting in?
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, wait.
I got it back.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable what the turnout has looked like so far. And by all accounts, Democrats are down. Democrats are down big in the early voting. Check out some of these numbers.
The math doesn't work. The Democrats are down 1.7 million early votes in the battleground states. In urban areas, they are down 1.4 million votes in the battleground states. Among women voters, rural voters have overperformed early by 300,000. Democrats have to win their races early. Republicans generally win them on election day. And the margins don't add up right now for the Democrats in any of these battleground states.
The margins do not add up from any Democrats in many of these battleground states. The counting is currently underway in the state of Pennsylvania. Obviously, that is one of the big bellwethers, the one that Donald Trump seems to have the most likelihood of winning out of all the Rust Belt states. But, of course, we can't have nice things in this country, and we can't just count votes like any other normal person. We've got to read about stories like this coming out. Now, with this being said, if you are watching this and you are online, do not get offline. Stay. If your boss has a problem with you not showing up to work today, have him call me and I'll tell him that it's our country and we've got to save it so their employee is not coming into work today. We've got this breaking. A court allows Cambria County to extend voting for 2 hours after the early voting machine failures. A Pennsylvania court is enabled to extend the hours until 10 p.m. after filing an extension after software issues plagued voters across the area. A court has ruled Cambria County, Pennsylvania, saw widespread issues with the machines being unable to scan ballots and count votes on Tuesday morning. Voters noted that there were widespread issues with voting at different polling locations in the county within the county of the vital battleground state. Some polling locations are now putting ballots in lockboxes in order to scan them later, and some are telling voters to come back after the machines have been fixed. Do not get off the line. If you're in a county where your guy says, hey, it's going to be a while, sit down, take a nap. Do not get off that line. That's what they want. They want to demoralize people. Cambria County Commissioners filed an emergency request to extend voting hours to 10 p.m., and the request was granted by Cambria County. Polls are scheduled to close at 8 p.m. in the state. In response, the Cambria County election official stated the Cambria County Board of Elections learned early this morning that a software malfunction in the county's electronic voting systems have prevented voters from scanning their ballots. I think I'm getting a, hold on. No one should be turned away from the polls if they wish to cast their vote. The Cambria County Board of Elections took measures to make sure that IT specialists can review the software. Look, Michael Watley is on top of this. And that is the best we can do at the current moment in time. Ooh, what do we got here? I want to thank Mary Beck for the $100 Rumble rant. Thank you so much for that. That really means a whole hell of a lot. We have huge numbers today, and as I said, hold on, we're actually going to get a call in from one of the Georgia field representatives in just a second. Before we do that, Mike Lindell.
You're still looking good.
I'm still feeling good. You know, I've got all your MyPillow products. Mattress topper, bed sheets, MyPillows, towels, slippers, blankets, sleepwear, dog beds.
Whoa, Charles. Everyone now can get MyPillow products at huge discounts at MyPillow.com. That's right. Now's the time to go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to take advantage of our 3-in-1 sale. We're bringing you exciting new products, overstock specials, and closeout deals you won't find anywhere else. For example, when you buy one of our brand new MyPillow 2.0s, you get another one absolutely free. And with our overstock sale, you save 50% on our luxurious Giza Dream bed sheets. That's as low as $29.99 for the best sheets ever. And with our biggest closeout special, you get our all-season slippers for only $35. Or our sandals and slides for just $25. Quantities are limited, and once they're gone, they're gone.
Guys, head on over to MyPillow.com, promo code LOUD. That's MyPillow.com, promo code LOUD for up to 80% off everything on the website. That's MyPillow.com, promo code LOUD. So, guys, on the phone right now, we've got a huge Twitter personality. You guys know her. The real politically savvy. She's down in Gwinnett County, Georgia. I got that right, Gwinnett County?
You did. You sure did.
Absolutely. So what are we seeing on the ground in Georgia? Obviously, a key state for President Trump's victory.
It is. Shenanigans are afoot, so we are noticing a trend. So if you have listeners in Georgia that are voting today, I'm going to say, great, get out the vote, but I'm also going to give you a slap on the wrist because what I have been having to do today is exactly the reason why we told you to vote early. So the trend we are seeing now, and this is only happening in Democrat precincts, there are being bomb threats called into Democrat precincts where everyone has to evacuate. You have to wait on the police to get there with the puppies. They've got to do a sweep, making sure, I'm going from all of these precincts because I have to get the exact time those doors reopen and the exact times that they were shut, because the plan is for the other guys to stay open later in these Democrat precincts. That means anyone that's voting after 7 o'clock has to vote on a provisional ballot. So people could just show up from anywhere, vote on a provisional ballot. Then it has to go through adjudication, and they have to check out voter status, where they're from, if they're registered in Georgia. That is the plan. So they can use provisional ballots to try to push through the other guys.
So right now you're saying that there are bomb threats being called in Democratic areas in the state of Georgia, and that is causing some of the polling locations to be closed.
Yes, and we've had 4 around the state today, in Democrat areas, Democrat precincts, because they've got to find a way to get their votes in, and this is how they decided to do it.
That is out of control. That is out of and guys, that is somebody who's on the ground who knows exactly what is happening, particularly in Gwinnett County, which is going to be one of the more crucial areas for President Trump's victory in the state of Georgia. Guys, once again, if you're out there and you're voting, and if you see something, say something, okay? If you see irregularities, there are people, call your local board of elections. For Christ's sakes, they work 1 week a year, and now it's time for them to work, okay? And that's not a dig at anybody, just so you know.
And I will also note that, okay, so if you're not credentialed to be a poll monitor or poll watcher within your party or within the campaign, you are allowed to be a public observer. So you can be outside the polling locations, because what's going on outside is just as important as what's going on inside. For instance, with these bomb threats, while this building is evacuated, we need people, at every entrance and exit to those polling locations to make sure that no one is going in or out with anything, or just really going in and out. And this is another way for them to try to delay the vote, because, in the state of Georgia, we have Sally's Law. So once, counting starts, it must continue. So this is a way for them to try to delay certification.
All right, so we're getting reports now that apparently the Attorney General came out. Who is that? That's Raffensperger, came out and said,
The Attorney General, that's Chris Carr.
Saying that they know that these are coming from overseas. Is there any? Can you confirm or deny that?
That I do not know about where they are coming from, but they are specifically targeted to Democrat precincts and Democrat areas. They've been in Clayton County, Fulton, and Gwinnett.
This is out of control, and we knew there was going to be shenanigans, but as we keep saying, guys, do not get off that line. Stay...
Hold the line. These are not... I don't want to say these aren't real bomb threats, okay? But you get it.
Yep.
So you've got to hold the line. You've got to stay in line. If you see, again, as you said, Ken, see something, say something. We also have the Grassroots EP group out here. So this falls under a leftist-funded NGO. They're the ones that got, that Pennsylvania was fighting last week. They're on the ground here in Georgia doing the same types of things. They're wearing wristbands this time. They're not wearing lanyards. So, and that's happening in all of the locations where President Trump is just gaining momentum. And we have to have people out there watching him, because it's bad out here today. And this is the number one reason why we said to please vote early. Because of these black flag events. And sure enough, they are coming. Our phone lines are burning down.
Alrighty, well, Savvy, thank you so much for calling in. We're up until 2. If you get any updates on that, or so. Here we go, guys. The shenanigans are beginning, but we knew this was going to happen.
That's right. Stay safe. Love you, and Trump 2024.
See you later. Once again, that was the Real Political Savvy calling us from down in Gwinnett County, Georgia, about some of the shenanigans that have been going on down there. If you guys are out there and you see something, you got to call your Board of Elections. Like I said, these people work like 1 week a year. Now it's time for them to work. Look, we're getting calls from Long Island saying that they're running out of ballots in places like Patchogue and Amityville, which kind of blows my mind, but that's not really the point. How the hell could you run out of ballots? But just keep printing them. Guys, if you're on that line, stay on that line. If you're online right now and you're watching this, put this show on speaker. Guys, hold the line, and when you get in there, if you're in New York, vote no on Prop 1. Vote no on Prop 1, because Democrats are already beginning to freak out. They are already beginning to lose their minds. Here was Joy Reid this morning doing what Joy Reid does.
And we begin our final sprint, having arrived at that point in the election season where basically we on this side of the TV screen have said all we can. We've laid out the stakes in this crucial election, where one side stands for freedom while the other meets the textbook definition of fascism, namely a far-right dictatorial regime like Hitler's Germany or Franco's Spain or Mussolini's Italy, but also white-ruled South Africa before Mandela and the black majority took control, or Vladimir Putin's Russia, Viktor Orban's Hungary, or Nicolas Maduro in Venezuela today, that suppresses the rights of women and minorities, uses the military to execute the whims of a strongman dictator, and controls and suppresses the press, education, the arts, rewrites history to suit a favored and dominant racial class, and foments extravagant corruption in order to enrich the dictator and his friends. We've warned you about Donald Trump's profound unfitness for office, from his theft of classified documents and attempted insurrection to his clear cognitive and physical decline, to what he plans to do if he returns to power, threatening to lock up or even execute his political opponents, increasing federal capital punishment and unleashing the police unrestrained, using the military to suppress protests, banning abortion nationwide by enforcing the Comstock Act, persecuting LGBTQ Americans, spiking prices and crashing the economy with across-the-board tariffs that amount to a giant Trump tax on everything you buy that's imported from overseas, firing tens of thousands of dedicated civil servants and putting people in charge of our government like Elon Musk, who has essentially purchased Trump for $75 million. Peter Thiel, who already owns Trump's would-be woman-hating vice president, J.D. Vance. Tom Homan, who vows to deport whole families of immigrants that could include U.S. citizens. Stephen Miller, who seems to dream of the return of internment camps to U.S. soil, along with mass deportation to make America white again. RFK Jr., who Trump has vowed to put in charge of not just women's health, but all of our health. And to this weekend announce that the first order of business will be to end the fluoridation of our water supply, taking us back to an era when childhood cavities and oral disease were rampant. You know, I guess that's before he ends childhood vaccination to, quote, make America healthy again.
Yep, to make America healthy again, you absolute lunatic. Democrats are beginning to flail. They're worried, and they should be. Things are looking incredibly good right now. All over the place. Look, I was cautiously optimistic before, but now watching them lose their minds lets me know that something we're doing is absolutely working. Guys, in just a minute, we're going to get to some big endorsements, some big late endorsements for President Trump. Before we keep going on that, guys, hit the thumbs up button, share the video. We had huge numbers on Rumble today. Big number, big number, big number. Let's see if we can get to 400 Rumbles for President Trump. Just hit the thumbs up button. Share the video out all over the place. Let's keep. Oh, we got a lot of people in both chats. Let's go. Oh, Jackie, what's going on? Diana Mills, how are you? Joanne, how are you? Amy, what's going on? Deb, what's happening? Dawn Bryan, what's happening? What's happening? Let's jump over to the other chat. Mindy, what's going on? What's happening? Somebody's putting big things in there. Somebody's putting big things in there. Bob R., what is happening? Alex Ann, how are you? Andrew, how are you? I'm jacked up today, guys. Before we keep moving and grooving here, head on over to lfatv.us. That's lfatv.us. That's your home base, your mothership, your landing pad for all things LFATV related. What's up, Siobhan? How are you? We got little Liam's mom in the chat. Very good stuff. Very good stuff. Christine, how are you? Oh, it's Christy Chapp. How are you? what's happening. Guys, once again, head on over to lfatv.us. That's lfatv.us. Make sure you guys keep it locked into rumble.com/lfatv. Our coverage tonight begins at 7 p.m. All of our hosts will be jumping in throughout the night to give their election forecast, their election updates, how they're feeling from where they are. Sean will be down in Tennessee. Mike Crispy will be in New Jersey. Does New Jersey flip? I don't know. We'll talk about it. Does New York have a big showing? We're going to be talking about that too. I'll be jumping in there. Make sure you guys keep it locked in. Rumble.com/LFATV. That's rumble.com/LFATV. So, some big endorsements came in very, very late for Donald Trump last night. Here was a pretty big one.
Wow, I have some more big news, Megan. I'm just getting this right now. So somebody that's very, very respected asked me to do his show 2 weeks ago, and I said, why not? And to me, it's very big because he's the biggest there is, I guess, in that world by far. Somebody said the biggest beyond anybody in a long time. And his name is Joe Rogan, and he's never done this before. And it just came over the wires that Joe Rogan just endorsed me. Is that right? Thank you, Joe. That's so nice. And he doesn't do that. He doesn't do that stuff. And he tends to be a little bit more liberal than some of the people in this room. No, I had a lot of fun, and he was amazing, and it was a 3-hour interview. In fact, I was 2 hours late for a rally that we had. I had explained that a little bit, and it was cold out that night. We flew, but we had to make it. We were more than 2 hours late, and they understood. I said, I just was interviewed by a very interesting guy, and he just kept going on. They called it a long form, and it could have gone a lot longer, but he was great. And he's not a person that does endorsements, but he did an endorsement. So I just want to thank Joe Rogan. That's fantastic.
Proving once again that we are the unity ticket. Elon Musk, RFK, Tulsi Gabbard, Nicole Shanahan, Joe Rogan. This is the unity ticket as we celebrate Liberation Day in America. I'm excited about what comes next, guys. Honestly, I think things are going to go very well for us moving forward because we are showing that we are the big tent party. We are showing the world that we are the big tent. Guys, hang out for just a minute. Oh, what is this? Apparently, Cardi B is very upset about something. Well, I'll play you guys that in a little bit because that just sounds really funny. But let's get to the early vote numbers because the early vote numbers out of a place like Pennsylvania, we spoke about it before, are looking absolutely tremendous, as the big guy would say. Check out some of this data, guys.
Right now, the Pennsylvania Democrats' firewall has collapsed. Firewall is the number of early mail-in ballot lead that they have. Remember, in 2020, it was 1.1 million. When Fetterman beat Oz, it was 800,000. Right now, they got a 409,000 vote lead. They needed 750. That was their goal. Then they said they got to have at least 500. They're not going to meet that. Yesterday, their numbers collapsed. It stopped coming in. So instead of getting 750 or 500, which now they're saying they absolutely need to get to a 500,000 vote lead in Pennsylvania with mail-in ballots in order to even be competitive here, they're not going to reach that, folks. They have 409 right now. They are, get this, 700,000 mail-in early votes behind where they were same time 2020. They're 350,000 behind where Fetterman was over Oz in just 2022. That was only 2 years ago. This is turning into a disaster for the Democrats. Trump well on his way to winning Pennsylvania now with these numbers. That's why he's coming to Pittsburgh tonight where we are. Now, North Carolina poll out just a few hours ago. East Carolina University, Trent's more of a liberal poll. They've got Trump up over 50% now. In North Carolina, 50 to 48. Let me give you even bigger news in North Carolina. Early voting. Republicans are actually winning now. They're ahead in early voting in North Carolina. That's never happened in the history of early voting in North Carolina. Republicans are ahead. African American turnout in Charlotte and Raleigh and some of their key areas is way down. Same thing in Pittsburgh and Philadelphia. It's way down. They're not getting the black community out. And we got polls saying up to 25 or 30% of those are going to vote for Trump. This is turning into a rout.
Turning into a rout. Absolutely unbelievable. Unbelievable. The numbers coming out of Florida right now, this is from Eric Daughtry. Right now, Florida Republicans expand their lead to 1.1 million more voters as of today, with Republicans coming in at 4.2 million, Democrats down there at 3.1. These are shocking numbers coming out of many, many of these places. Many of these places are seeing record turnouts. Right now, the unofficial number out of Clark County, out of Washoe County. Right now, Republicans are up 800 votes. That was as of about a half hour ago. Douglas County, they're up by 400 votes. Lyon County, they're up by 600 votes. That all in the state of Nevada. And why? Because as I said, we are the unity ticket. We are the unity ticket. These people cannot compete. Last night, you saw someone come together with Donald Trump that I would have never thought would have given such a full-throated endorsement of the President of the United States. It's somebody that he has quarreled with once before. But I think that she gives the most succinct, most epic, most roundabout way of explaining to people why she's voting for Donald Trump. Ladies and gentlemen, former Fox News host Megyn Kelly.
Megyn Kelly is here, and she's doing... Come up. Come up here, Megyn. She ripped a guy apart.
Hi, everybody. Hey, it's great to see you. Can you believe this guy? Can you believe the energy and the stamina on this guy? At his age, I'm ready to go to sleep over there. He's got another rally to go to till tonight. Let me tell you, first of all, one of the reasons why I wanted to come here, one of the many reasons I wanted to come here. When I launched my show 4 years ago, we had Mark Cuban on the program. You know, yeah. May have seen he was in the news this week. And he started going on about how bad America's race history was and how ashamed he was of America, and that's why he was at all these protests, and he felt it was really important to stand up and speak out about human rights violations. And then it got awkward when I asked him about all the money he was taking from China. And then he dropped a bunch of F-bombs, and I thought, I really enjoy this feeling of proving Mark Cuban wrong. And so here I am at a Trump rally, a strong, intelligent woman to prove Mark Cuban wrong again. I won't take up much of your time, but I do want to tell you the main reasons I am voting for Donald Trump. Number one, immigration. He mentioned it. And people like Laken Riley. I'll be thinking about her tomorrow all day. 22 years old, killed in Georgia, a young nursing student by an illegal. I'll be thinking about Jocelyn Nungare, 12 years old, in Texas, murdered by 2 Venezuelan illegals. President Trump closed the border. Kamala Harris opened it by choice. It wasn't accidental. She said it would be humane. That's what she and her boss believed. Tell it to Laken Riley's family. There was nothing humane about it. He closed it. They opened it. It was an intentional choice, and there's no reason not to believe they won't do it again. The boys should not be in the girls' sports. The boys should not be in the girls' bathrooms. The boys should not be in the girls' locker rooms. Peyton McNabb, North Carolina sophomore in high school slammed so hard in the face by a volleyball hit at her by a boy pretending to be a girl, she suffered traumatic brain injury and permanent paralysis. Kamala Harris looks at her and says, "Be kind. Suck it up." And that's what's right. Why do our girls have to face brain damage in order to be kind to boys who want to invade their sports? And by the way, they are going into the women's prisons. She changed the law in California to make sure the taxpayers would pay for their sex change operations. She was not just following the law, she changed the law. President Trump will stop it. He got mocked by the left for saying he would be a protector of women. He will be a protector of women, and it's why I'm voting for him. He will close the border. He will keep the boys out of girls' sports and where they don't belong. And you know what else? One more thing. He will look out for our boys, too. Our forgotten boys and our forgotten men. Guys like you. Guys like these guys who've got the calluses on their hands, who work for a living with the beards and the tats, who maybe have a beer after work and don't want to be judged by people like Oprah and Beyonce, who will never have to face the consequences of her disastrous economic policies. These guys will. He gets it. President Trump gets it. He will not look at our boys like they're second-class citizens. And ladies out there who want a bit of girl power in this election, let me tell you something. How can you win when the sons and the husbands and the brothers and the dads you love are losing? It's not a win. We care, young women and older, about the lives of our children, the safety of our children. And we need not get so obsessed with what happens when they're in the womb that we forget about taking care of them once we're here and they're loved. Last point. What I don't want, what I don't think you want, is the left's version of masculinity. You see that ad they did about Trump voters trying to encourage women to lie to their husbands so that they could vote for her instead of Trump? That's their version of what marriage looks like. An overbearing husband who bullies his wife into saying she voted one way as opposed to an honest, open relationship. Oh, wait, I'm talking about Kamala and Doug. Okay, sorry. Where was that story in the news? Where was that story? I don't remember a single media person, not one, who sat with him, asked him about the abuse allegations against him by a successful professional attorney who has great details, who has receipts, who has witnesses. No one even asked about it. I'm not into their version of toxic masculinity or new masculinity. I prefer the old version. Them, all of you, and I prefer a president who understands how to be strong and how to fight. I hope all of you do what I did last week. Vote Trump and get 10 friends to vote Trump too.
Now, why do I show you that whole clip? Because that in its entirety is the Trump movement. Bring a sane politic back to our country. Keep men out of women's sports. Tell the elites like Beyonce and Lady Gaga and Oprah that I don't give a shit what you want. I don't care. You will never have to live under the policies that you've put forth. Ever. If you're some New York elitist, you never have to worry about illegal immigration because your doorman stops them from getting to your apartment. But if you're poor in Queens or you're poor in Brooklyn Nobody's there to save you. If you're watching this and you're online right now, that's the part you need to hear. That's the part that the liberal in front of you needs to hear. That Lady Gaga and Beyonce and Mark Cuban and Ricky Martin, whatever casket they pulled him out of, by the way. Ricky Martin, really? Is it 1997? Where the hell did they get him from? These elites do not want the same thing you want. They want to make sure that there's no slime in their pool, and that their hedges are trimmed just perfectly, and that they never have to clean their own bathtub. They don't care about you because their children will never be inundated with a school that has 60 kids in a class speaking 9 different languages. They don't care that interest rates go up to 5, 6, 7, 8, 9% because they already have the liquid capital to be able to buy anything they want. Maybe their life is better because the stock market is higher, but it hasn't impacted my life. The stock market could go to 1 million and my life wouldn't change, not one bit. You know what changes my life? The price of groceries. You know what changes my life? The inflation that comes from funding every foreign war under the sun. That's what changes my life. Knowing that any minute now, people my age are going to be sent to go die in Kiev, or die in Tel Aviv, or die in Taiwan, or die in whatever other foreign conflict pops up over the course of the next 4 years. A vote for Trump is a vote for sanity. It's a vote for peace. That's why we're voting for Trump. Because for 15 years, elitist liberals have told young men that every natural inclination they've ever had was wrong, and that they were toxic, and that there was something wrong with them. And for the last 30 years, they put them on Ritalin and Adderall and Ativan because they were too hyper in class. Every natural inclination is wrong. And they look down upon people who got dirty at work. They look down on the peasants that showered after work and not before it. The kinds of people out there look down on you and me while they go out and think that food comes from the store. A people who wouldn't be caught dead on a farm, but have the audacity to want open borders and free trade policy so that they can get their cheap avocados from Mexico. The kinds of people that want to switch our power grid from natural gas and coal and oil so that they can feel good with their solar panels. The kinds of people who wouldn't give a shit if every plant in Detroit closed and got shipped overseas because they know they can afford their car anyway. The kinds of economists who have spent their careers being wrong, like Paul Krugman and Andrew Ross Sorkin. We don't need you. We don't need you anymore. And we're done listening to you. We're done listening to each and every one of you. Guys, we'll be back in 1 second. Hit the thumbs up button. I'm going to give you my election day, my electoral college map predictions. There's going to be some on there. There's going to be some on there that you might not see coming. Some on there that we shall see. Before we get to that, guys,
the biggest benefit, honestly, has been with my skin. Skin was more hydrated, more radiant.
This is the best superfood that you could take.
It has all the essential nutrients you need for your skin, your gut, energy, focus, mood, performance.
My hair has gotten so much thicker ever since taking this.
I used to have a probiotic, a green juice that replaced it all with this Armra colostrum. It is amazing.
You gotta take it.
If you want to try it, try armra.com.
Guys, start feeling better today with the superfood formula over at tryarmra.com/LFATV. That's tryarmra.com/LFATV to get 15% off and free shipping. That's tryarmra.com/LFATV. So, let's get to the fun part, guys. Let's get to the fun part. Let's get this up on the screen. As I promised you, my electoral college map. As you can see, Arizona has already been filled in by 270 to win, which lets you know that they think Arizona is already off the table. Already off the table. Let's get to the obvious ones. We got the Peach State going red. We got North Carolina going red, despite the fact that Mark Robinson not doing so well. Not doing so well right now with apparently his past comments coming back to bite him in his giant ass, which I say that lovingly because he's a very big man and I do not want him to squish me. So where are we at right now? Where are we at right now? 262. Early votes out of Nevada. Nevada, whatever. Looking good for Republicans. And then we get to the Rust Belt. But before we get to that, I want to switch something up a little bit. The first in the nation primary. The Granite State of New Hampshire. The original home of Jeremy Harrell and Lily Tang Williams. I think we're flipping that. I think we're flipping New Hampshire. New Hampshire, right now, the polls have it close to the margin of error. I want to make it very clear. The early vote numbers out of there look very big. But more than that, New Hampshire is the only state in the Northeastern Corridor to have a fully Republican state legislature with a Republican governor. We may not like him. Chris Sununu, not really the point. Not really the point. And that's the win right there, without us even having to lift a finger. But I am not satisfied. I believe Nebraska, too, will go red. That is the Omaha area, the Don Bacon district, the one people have been talking about. Now, with all that being said, even with the early vote shenanigans going on, the voting machines going down in two of the most important counties, where's all my Pennsylvania people at? Shout out to all the Eagles fans out there. I've never said this before, but the Eagles fans, I think, are going to take the cake today. Pennsylvania going red. Are we done yet? We've already got the win. Are we done yet? Michigan going red. 307, excuse me. 307 to win. $317. I don't know. I'm kind of iffy on Wisconsin. I got to be honest with you. Not really sure. But you know what? To hell with it. That's what I'm going for. You know what? I'm taking the screenshot right now. That's the screenshot. That's what's going on Twitter. That's my prediction. Guys, 317 in a landslide for President Trump. That's what I'm calling out. What do you guys think? Am I right? Am I wrong? What do you think? I'm curious to get your all takes on this as we wrap up on this election day. I'm going to put the live chat up onto the screen right now. What are you guys thinking? 317? Am I crazy? Does New Hampshire flip? Did I miss anything? I'm curious as to what you guys think. Guys, before we wrap up today, there are so many people watching, and I'm going to say it once again. I said it at the top of the show. On a personal level. Look, I'll be back here with you tomorrow morning, one way or the other. Just a fair warning to everybody. We're going to be doing a lot of live chat tomorrow because I got a feeling I'm probably going to be sipping some adult beverages this evening until late into the evening. I've got a feeling, just saying. I'm not saying I'm going to do it. I'm saying it sounds like something I would do. But on a personal level, the last 4 years of my life have been dedicated to this. All go, no quit. All throughout the country in places like Georgia and Pennsylvania, New Jersey, we've done work. Throughout the state of New York, I want to thank all of you so much for being with us on this ride. Like I said, I'm only speaking for myself here. I'm sure Sean will do it too. But we couldn't do any of this without you guys. And without all of you, the loud majority doesn't happen. It doesn't continue. Without you all believing in us. And I'm speaking mostly to my local crowd here who have stood by us through a lot of bullshit. Through a lot of bullshit. You guys have absolutely made my dreams come true. And I want to thank so many people. I could go on all day. I want to thank Lee Zeldin, and I want to thank Allison Esposito. I want to thank Peter Junta with the New York State Young Republicans. I want to thank Gavin Wax with the New York City Young Republicans for taking us in. Vish Burra, who's my brother in politics. I want to thank so many people who have given me this opportunity. I want to thank you all so much for all of that. Guys, 2 o'clock. If you haven't voted yet, get out and vote. I will see you guys all back live tomorrow when Donald Trump's the president. Yeah, a little busy at the moment. Guys, until tomorrow, everybody, stay loud.
Right now, the Pennsylvania Democrats